hop now. No, nothing can move you.
Governor Kathy Hochul, who is really a conservative Republican cosplaying as a liberal Democrat. She is a conservative Democrat. She's one of those Joe Biden types. Matter of fact, she's a little more right than Joe Biden. Well, she recently went on TV talking about how they're going to push programs in the urban communities like the Bronx, Brooklyn. Every community, there's urban communities in all part of New York City. The only way you start to span out, where you get a more decent, where it's not as urban, is you get further out in Queens, further out in Westchester County, outside of the Bronx, when you go to Mount Vernon and Yonkers and places like that, or you're going to go to Staten Island. But the 5 boroughs, the main boroughs like Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, those 3, and the Bronx, we do need resources. We do need help. We do need the government to fund these programs. Go on are the community hospitals. Go on are the local clinics, community clinics. Go on are the prevention centers and the educational centers. And soon to be gone are the senior centers. They're replacing those with paid adult daycare services when we need to have more public funding senior centers. And gone are the days of public housing when we need to revitalize, refurbish, and revigorate housing programs. Well, let me get to the point of this story, okay? Kathy Hochul went on TV talking about computer literacy and computer literacy. And this is what she had to say about black kids. And you probably already saw this, but I'm going to give you my point of view of this. Black kids in the urban cities. This is her direct response concerning black kids. Now, let me set this up because she's talking to a black man, a black gay man, and I'm going to be specific, a black gay man who married a white gay man. And you say, why does that matter? Because sometimes it shows how allegiance you are to black culture. I'm not saying if you're married to a white person that you are not down for black people. I'm just saying this guy, you can clearly see his allegiance is not with pro-black first. He's not pro-black first. He's pro-Democrat first, and then he's pro-LGBTQ second. And then he'll be more on the side of white society because his white husband, and he don't want to offend his white husband or cause any tension between his white husband, siding with black male dominancy, heterosexual dominancy. A lot of people, they fear black heterosexual dominancy. They know that black men are so strong in thought, so strong in will, so strong in mission, and so strong in stature that it becomes an intimidation factor to a lot of people across the board. Mainly people who are anti that, not that, even some women. Women want to hold that spot. There's a lot of women who want to take the place of the God-given mission of black men. They want to be the men in a relationship. They want to carry the torch. They want the men to submit to them. They don't want to submit to the man. When the scriptures say submit to one another, but there is a pecking order and there's a divine platform that has caused prosperity if you stick with God's plan. No shout outs to Drake. I'm a Kendrick's guy. Kathy Hochul go and talk this way about black youth. Now, I will admit, there are a lot of households that don't have fathers. There's a lot of households where the kids are pretty much raising themselves. But there's certain things to cause that. Certain things put in place, certain structures that cause this. Certain things that are anti-black family, anti-black male. I'm talking about anti-black traditional family. Husband, wife, kids, 40-hour work week job, able to take care of the spouse at home. She could stay home and take care of the kids, take care of the house, and do what she liked to do on the side. And yet she's going to be taken care of. The kids going to be taken care of. We're going to go on vacation once or twice a year. We got 2 cars and a house, an RV, maybe a boat. Gone are those days because of certain structures. And black people not being able to have access to this, especially black men, is by design. I know people saying, what this got to do with Kathy Hochul? Well, I'm just painting a picture that when things are out of order, you get stupid stuff like this. Whether we got a father in the household or not, most black kids have a father in the household. He may not be married, but that's the case of all colors. Because a lot of people in this day don't believe in traditional marriage. They think there's no real, a paper ain't going to hold nothing up if you don't have real, true commitment and true love. You can be married and in the household and still not paying the family no mind. But yet you can be unmarried and still be in that household, raising the kids. Yet this country and people like Kathy Hoe-Chill has a wrong imagination concerning black kids. It's no different from Joe Biden in the speech in 1993 on the Senate floor, talking about they're super predators and they're predators and they're gonna hurt my mother and they're gonna rape my children and no man, your kids that was on that stuff, man. Most of the black kids were not. They paint this picture of the black community and they will use other black people to help paint that picture. And then they'll point the finger at all black people when there are certain segments in black society that are not, there's various communities in the black community. You got various immigrant communities in the black community that has different foundations, different ways of raising children and different structures and different mentalities, let alone because we're diasporal. It's just like white society. All white people are not the same. They have an underlining foundation in some areas, but their way they raise each other are not the same. The Italians are not the same as the Greeks, and the Greeks are not the same as the Irish. They all have their different ways. But when Kathy Hoe-Chill made the statement, it implies that black kids are the lowest of the totem pole, the most uneducated of them all. They don't even know what a computer is. Let me get to this particular video.
And in fact, I talked to a lot of other people, said, I wish my governor had thought of that first. I said, no, this is New York. We like to be first, with all due respect to people from other states. It's sort of our attitude. We will be the best, we will be the first, and I want others to follow, because right now we have, young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things.
So you got Jonathan put on his cape for white society. He don't have no cape for black society. When the last time you heard Jonathan Capehart really go strong for Black First Initiative and really stood up for the black heterosexual man? No, he's going to stand up for the LGBTQ community over blackness. And he's black. He was born black. Well, I was born gay. Yeah, but at the end of the day, your skin is more prominent than your gayness. You can look as straight as you can, as heterosexual as you can, but yet behind closed doors, you can be gay. But in this situation, as a black man, you black. Ain't nothing hiding that black. You can bleach it. You can do whatever. And that's why I tell a lot of people that come into this country, in the United States, don't you dare put any society over your society first. You appreciate other societies. You appreciate other cultures. You bring a level of respect. You don't act like you're better than some cultures and things like that. There are some things that we may be a little more, gelled in than others and vice versa. But at the end of the day, you're a human being and you are born the same. You use the bathroom the same. You're going to die the same. You're not above no other. You're all equal and same in humanitarianism and in human society. There's nothing no different. But you got some people that they would dump on blackness and praise any otherness. They would dump on blackness, praise any other. Jonathan Capehart is with this lady on the stage, smiling and grinning. And don't check this lady. Don't call her out. Don't say, hey, we'll go into detail. Much as people don't like Tariq Nasheed, and that's not most of black society, most foundational black Americans in this country love Tariq Nasheed. Whether you want to think or whatever he can, that's not the point where most of us, we're not looking at that. We support that brother. Whether you agree with him or not, we support him because he is standing. And whenever he needs something done, we support him. And that's how we should be. Whenever we see people trying to do for black people and elevate black people, we should support them. We should support Marcel Dixon, who's black first. Even though he's part of the LGBT community, he is black first. Tariq Nasheed would have never let this lady sit there and say stuff like this. Heck, I could talk about other people. Professor Black Truth ain't gonna let this lady say nothing like that. Jason Black ain't gonna let nobody say nothing like that. Tim Black ain't gonna let this lady slide with nothing like that. I'm not gonna let nobody slide with making a statement. But you got people like this because they're so Democrat first. It's like they're in a cult group. Oh, I can't believe the reverend in our cult group said this, but I'm not gonna challenge him. Maybe there's something to it. This man sits here and let this lady talk about his people.
Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is.
Not do she insult us. She don't say we don't know what a computer is. She said we don't know what the word computer is. Now, what in the white supremacist mindset? That's a white supremacist mindset. That is an ignorant mindset. How your people, your children, can know what a computer is, but black kids in the Bronx don't know. When the last time you been to the Bronx, Kathy Hoe-Chill? And most of these people, when they do go to the city, they don't go to the worst parts of the city. Heck, they don't even want to go to the decent parts of the city. They're gonna go to the epilon of the city. When the last time you been to the Bronx, Kathy Hoe-Chill? I live in the Bronx. I'm Bronx all day. I'm from South Florida. Shout outs to Bradenton, Florida, Sarasota, Manatee County. I'm Southern boy all day, but I've been living in the Bronx since 2009. Is it 2010? One of them. So I've been here a while. Been here almost 15 years. I lived in the Bronx. I lived in some of the hardest parts of the Bronx. I live in Hunts Point. I live in the Mount Haven area. I lived in the Baychester area. I lived in various areas of the Bronx. I lived in Mount Vernon. I worked with kids. I worked with the elderly. And for you to say something stupid like this, they don't know what a computer is. That is a white supremacist mindset. That black people are so ignorant that you put a computer in front of them, they wouldn't even know what it is. But she said they don't even know the word computer. What kind of bull crap is this? Let me go back to that.
Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things.
That is an insult. She remind me of Janine Shapiro. She's Janine Shapiro. That's who she is. It's probably come from the same makeup of Janine Shapiro. Like I said, Kathy Hoe-Chill always been more of the right, centered right, or even to the extreme right in some of her mindsets and policies. She's not left at all. I'm more of a, there's some things I'm conservative in. There's some things I'm liberal in. I don't like to put labels on those things. These are just my belief. You can put the label on it, but this is just my belief about certain things, and we're all entitled to our belief, and we should be able to express our belief, but yet we should not force you to believe what we believe and accept what we no, that's not American. And honestly speaking, that's ungodly, because even in scriptures, God gave you a will, tell you choose this day whom you're going to serve. The choice is yours. It's your will, and give you plenty of time to make that change. Just make it quick. He's coming. No, he's coming though. The nerves of her. And here Jonathan Capehart don't even stop her in her track.
And I want the world open up to all of them, because when you have their diverse voices innovating solutions through technology, then you're really addressing society's broader challenges.
See, this pissed me off about Jonathan. He's engaged and actively listening to her, but not listening to her. She just insulted your people. She just took a crap on your kids. Of course, you're not going to have black kids unless you adopt them, because you're too scared to get up. Let me stop. I don't see how, man. You're not going to have black kids unless you adopt them. You can't. You can't have kids. So maybe that's one of the reasons why you don't want to have your mindset in defense of children. But you got to understand, you are a black kid. You were once a black kid. And even in some areas of your maturity, you still have some kid in you. We all do. And you sit here and let her go on and on, talking about your descendants, talking about your culture, talking about your lineage, talking about your people. If Jonathan Capehart would have said on that stage to Kathy Hoe-Chill, white kids in, let me think, Long Island. White kids in Long Island don't even know what a turntable is. White kids in Long Island don't know. Let's put it back on Kathy Hoe-Chill. Don't even know what a computer is. White society would be on him like white on rice. Kathy Hoe-Chill would be on him like, yeah, what do you mean? My people don't know what a computer is. They do know what a computer is. They do know what the word computer is. Yet this man's going to sit there and let her just go.
I've created this governance board, this advisory committee. Our CEO is Arvind Krishna, who is the CEO of IBM, very well-established legacy industry. The co-chair is Tamika Barrett, who's the CEO of Girls Who Code. Why did I do that? Because I want all those young girls to know that there's a place for them in this emerging technology. So this is how we make it more equitable.
What make you think that girls, let alone black girls, don't know that there's a place in society? This is the part that I really, really don't like, this is the part that really pisses me off about society, that you figure that you got to be the one to tell us that there's more for you. There's more. No, we already know this stuff, lady. We don't need, and honestly speaking, that's what our fathers and mothers do in us from the day we're born. Where do you get this mindset that black fathers and black mothers don't instill in their kids that there's a better place for you in the world, and there's a world that you can grab a hold of, and the world is yours? Shout out to Scarface. What make you think we don't know this? Why do you figure just because you white and I say so that I can tell you that and it matters, but your parents, they ain't gonna get the message stronger to you? The nerves of you think, look, this white savior complex stuff, black people ain't buying this stuff no more. Most of us never bought it in the first place. That's why we try to tell people, when you come to this country, you've been so steeped into this, and we were in it before too. We're not gonna sit there and lie. We've been in this before. Our minds were colonized, and we believe in white daddy, white savior, that we're nothing. We're the lowest of the totem pole, and the only way we can rise up is we got to have the approval of them. And there's no slight out to my white brothers and sisters. You matter. You're part of this society. You're part of this world. I mean, you know, we supposed to love one another. We supposed to nurture one another. But I don't have no problem with you making sure you love one another and nurture your own kind first. It's just that don't do it only. Because black society, we supposed to nurture our own kind, our own society first. But yet we got to think about the whole world in general too. But we're not going to sit here and lay ourselves on the altar for the sake of the world. But yet you expect us to do that stuff. We're not doing that. I don't expect anybody to do that. Support your people, support your culture. And that's what black people need to start doing more, especially starting with foundational black American. This is your country. This is your nation. You built this. You built it all. This thing was prosperous off of your back, and you never got compensated for it. And when you tried to get some land, they took that. And when you built something out of nothing, they tried to take that. And then when you start rising up in population, they found some way to slaughter you to try to keep the numbers down. That's why I don't trust medical technology 100%, because I don't know what you're putting in me. I don't. And here, Jonathan Capehart still haven't checked this lady. I'm like, whoa, Kathy, hold on a minute before we go any further. Last time you been to the Bronx? What section of the Bronx? Who did you talk to? What family did you spend time with? Because I'm going to follow up. I am a reporter, at least I claim to be. I do work for a news organization. Because where you get this mindset that black kids don't even know the word. She didn't say black kids don't know computers. And we some of the most advanced technological. Man, we get out of here. How can you say that? She said we don't even know the word of computer. This is why black society can't trust bootlicks, turncoats like Jonathan Capehart. I mean, I honestly believe that even Roland Martin would have checked her, but he still would have went along with her program because, you know, at the end of the day, he wanted them too. But real Negroes, real brothers from the hood is going to check you. What the hell you talking about? Black kids don't know the word computer. Girl, what rock you done fell from? We would have told her she had to leave. Get your behind out of here, lady. Oh, this is my state. This ain't your state. You got an hour to get up out of our city. Get up out of here with that foolishness.
Make AI equitable for all in the state of New York. Mm-hmm. And I want other states to follow that. That's just the larger framework. Got it through the legislature. Can't always do that very easily, but it's a huge commitment. But that supercomputer is being built, and we're going to get it done.
So they're building a supercomputer. Why? Why is the government building a supercomputer? And why should we be excited about a supercomputer? These people collect enough data on us. They have so much on us. And why would you need a supercomputer? Now, the media response to Kathy Hoe-Chill, and I'm not going to go over all of it. My whole point was you got a black man sitting right there, a black Democrat, gay man with a white husband, and all that stuff playing a factor whether he's going to be able to come back against her or not, because he need to keep that job. So he's not going to push back on Kathy Hoe-Chill because his job is more important than you, more important than your black kids. His husband, his white husband, is more important than your black kids, yet he's a black man. I don't care who you are. I could be married to Becky, Sally, Trish, and you could be white as snow, and I can love you, but ain't no way I'm going to put you before my people. No way. What about our kids? Your kid got black in them. She's talking to your kid. Our kids got black in them. I'm black. You might be white. Our kids got black DNA in them, and she's talking about our kids. I'm going to take that personal.
young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word a computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things. And I want the world open up to all of them.
Lately, I've been so discouraged, and when it comes to other things in my life, that I need to start doing stuff fun. And this is not fun. And during these seasons, man, with what's going on and how, I mean, I can do it, but the space is getting bigger, and there's younger, brighter talent than I am at doing this. And sometimes you got to realize that, hey, let them shine, let them do their thing. You come in once in a blue moon and say your thing, but you do whatever you can to push the next generation up. And we got a whole new generation of newscasters, especially Black First community broadcast channels, that's going to tell the truth, and that's going to dissect what they said in legacy media and what it means to the black community. And I'm more on that end than the community of progressivism. And see, I lost a lot of subscribers because I stepped away from the overall progressive forums and started talking Black First. And I've been telling people all along, I'm progressive in some issues, I'm conservative in some issues. I'm not going to be the guy that's going to make you feel good and make you say yeah and make you want to watch the channel more because I'm saying things that you agree with and that make you feel good, because I'm not. I even challenge myself sometimes. The media began to make a response, and I'm going to specifically talk about on the opposite end on Fox News, a black show with the black panel from Fox, of all people, and their response to Kathy Hoe-Chill.
Right now we have, young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word a computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things.
Man, I'm insulted every time I hear that. And she's in California talking about black kids.
Well, Hoe-Chill issuing a statement now, walking back on her words, saying, "I misspoke. I regret it. Of course, black children in the Bronx know what computers are. The problem is that they, too, often lack access to the technology needed to get on track to high-paying jobs in emerging industries like AI."
You ain't misspoke. You don't regret it. They always say that. You only misspoke because somebody called you, checked you on it. Jonathan should have checked you. Jonathan should have said, hold on, whoa. I hope you heard what you said. You said black kids don't know what a computer is, the word computer. Now, that's the insult. They don't know the word computer, so if they don't know the word computer, they definitely not going to know what a computer is. What's a computer, mommy? What's a computer? What is that? Most of these black kids have more knowledge about a computer than you do, girl, and you the governor of California. New York. I regret what I said. You only regret because you got caught. The scriptures, and I know y'all not Bible-believing people, but there's a scripture in the Bible say, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speak. Whatever you got in your heart is going to come out of your mouth through words. And those words have power. And those words have the power to create things, especially in your mindset. This is how you think, because it goes from your ear. It comes out your mouth, through your ears, into your mind, into your heart, and there's a cycle. This is what you believe. You heard it, you believed it, and you spoke it. This is what you heard in your mindset probably since you were a kid, that black kids don't know much. You heard it in your surrounding to the point that you believed it, and you believed it to the point that you finally spoke it out your mouth, and it probably was M2. I remember one day, me and my ex-wife, we had an issue, and she said something out of her mouth, and I said, what you say? And she said, oh, I didn't mean that. I'm like, no, wait a minute. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. That's been in your heart and mind all this time. And it finally came up to the surface. I shook the bottle. I shook the bottle of Coke, and it popped the top on its own. I didn't need much to, release it. For an example, you shake a bottle of Coke. Once you pull the tab off that, when they had the old school pop the cap, the metal aluminum cap, copper, whatever, if you shook it, you ain't got to do much to pop that thing before it fly off. All you have to do is tap it a little bit. Pow! I shook it to a point where it just came out. Kathy Hoe-Chill, when it comes to black society, gets on her nerves. She only have to deal with it because she's running as a Democrat when she's always really been a conservative Republican. But she can't win in New York as a conservative Republican because New York is mostly a progressive blue state. So in order for her to get some power, she got to make a shift. She has to pretend to be a Democrat, a liberal, when she's really a conservative Republican. And don't get me wrong, there's conservative Republican Democrats. That's what she is. This is what you believe, lady. You don't regret it. You meant it. You just regret that it came out on the surface.
Our guests are here on The Factor Uncensored. Glad to see you both. Todd Smith with Regal Media and Bridget Holden, a public relations specialist. Obviously, first, let's talk about the internet. Undefeated, when you take a look at that video making fun of the New York governor, Todd, just mind-blowing.
It's hilarious. I mean, social media will make a joke out of everything. I mean, it kind of makes it a little bit more digestible what she said. I mean, it's actually hilarious what oh boy did, but
I don't think this is funny. And for black people's on a panel to think this is funny, this is not funny because some people think this way. This is some people's image of black kids. This is not funny to me. You don't see me laughing. It's not funny.
on a serious note, the governor needs to be aware of what comes out of her mouth. I think what's in a person's heart comes out. A lot of people say, well, she didn't really mean it, or she said what she said. And I think a lot of people have to realize I'm political and I criticize the Republicans, I criticize conservatives, but there's racism with the Democratic Party. There's still stereotypes within liberals. So I've dealt with a lot of people on the liberal side who've had as many stereotypes about black people as people on the conservative side. So I think if I call conservatives out, I need to call liberals out and Democrats out. She needs to be held accountable, and she is.
Should nothing be hilarious about that comment? Somebody making a stupid viral video poking fun at what she said is not funny. That person should have put that computer up and said, you know, making a demonstration like that. You got a society of white supremacists that already call us monkeys. And then you got a black brother going on TV acting like a caveman or acting like a monkey, acting like he don't know what a computer is. And the whole focus point wasn't even the computer. Ooh, what's the computer? No, she said they don't even know the word computer. So the subject isn't the computer itself. The subject is the word.
And of course, Governor Kathy Hochul of New York, who we're talking about here tonight, has walked back the comment saying she misspoke. She apologized. How do you clean something up like this, Bridget?
Well, I mean, let's just suffice it to say she did say the comment, and it comes across as someone of privilege making that comment as if she knows that for a fact. You
know why I come across as privilege? Because she's privileged. She's come from a wealthy background. She went through elite schools, elite background, and she comes from a culture of privilege. But then again, even some people who may not have come from that culture of privilege, but there's certain things about them that does give them certain privileges. You heard the term white privilege. Some white people figure just because I'm white, there's certain areas there's certain areas you probably got one up on me, but just for the fact that here's my proof. You can go to mostly anybody that white and say, if you can change your color, would you stay white or you become black or Asian or Polynesian or Latino? If you were able to change your color, Mr. White Society, if you had the ability to become anybody but white, would you do it? No. And I gotta admit, when I came up, I hung around a lot of white kids and I saw the privilege. And I saw the difference in raising, some good, some not good. Some I was like, thank God I got a single mother. Because if I had a daddy like this drunk fool beating up on his wife and kids, people think, oh, just because they got a home with a husband and wife, and man, they ain't always all that pretty. Like I said, I grew up with a bunch of black kids in my neighborhood, but a lot of black kids in my neighborhood were upset because I had a lot of white friends. I would go to their house before I go home. I mean, I grew up in heavy metal, Black Sabbath, Def Leppard, Crocus, Iron Maiden, you name it, Metallica, Megadeth, you name it. I grew up. I was a Michael Jackson Prince fan. You couldn't beat me doing the Michael Jackson. I was a big pop fan, but on this other end, I love hard rock. I was a heavy metal. I'm talking about death metal, heavy metal type stuff, deep dark stuff, Sacrifice on the Stage, Ozzy Osbourne, Alice Cooper biting, both of them biting bats, and that I was in that on that side. And my friends, they wasn't wealthy and rich, but they did realize that they'll rather be white than black. And I get it, because there's a certain privilege to that. And then the daddy was so condescending. You know, you blame. I knew the daddy didn't want this black kid in his home. And I knew his daddy was watching stuff to make sure I didn't steal at the house. I didn't want nothing from him. I was just cool with their son. Me, Fitch, all of us, Stanley, all of us. We were all cool. But there was a level of privilege that they had that I didn't have. And there was things in their household that I was, thank God, I wasn't privy to. Yeah, my mom was a single mother raising us, but she was raising us in the spirit of mother and father. And even though she couldn't be my father, we had men in our circle that always played the father role. I had my Uncle Dave, I had my cousin Robert McCarter, I had Mr. Wallace. My mom always surrounded us with black businessmen. These things are starting to get rare now. People who own black businesses. Mr. Wallace had cleaners and a barbershop. He would take us mowing yards on the weekends. He would take us fishing, and he would teach us about manhood. Then we had our Uncle Dave. Man, my Uncle Dave had so many freaking businesses. You know, a garage. He had a building where he rented leased space, and you know, he had a trucking company, a bus company. Man, he had everything. He had a gospel singing group. My mom surrounded us around that. I didn't see my friend be surrounded by that stuff. I saw one daddy was on drugs, but him and the mama wasn't leaving him. So yes, at the end of the day, none of them would take my place.
You can't go around saying stuff like that. Now, she does have one of the other governors backing her, saying that she didn't mean it. Her heart is in the right place.
And she's repentive. She's sorry for what she. How do you know? Are you a judge of people's heart? Now, yeah, brother, there's a lot of condescending Democrats out there, especially white Democrats, are very condescending. And those who kiss up the white Democrats are very condescending. Oh, she gonna put them down. You can't help but put them down because you've been putting them down all your life. You still think black people are not this way to you, that we're not equal. You still think you're up here and I'm here. That's why you can do that "I'm white and I say so" to shut us down about certain things, instead of considering what we say matters, has some truth to it, has some validity to it, have some power to it. You're not going to discount us. That you will see us like this. I'm trying to bite my tongue because I deal with this consistently throughout the days and the weeks and stuff like that, of people who thinking just because they do this and I do this, that you're in subjection to me. You're not on the same level as I am because I have this position. I work at this place and you have this position and you work at this place. I'm above you. Negroes, you crazy? No, you just got more area knowledge than that. I can get the same area knowledge too, but that's not my thing. That's your thing. I don't want to delve in that area of culture. I want to delve in that area of business or that area of community awareness. I want to stay over here and focus on building this. You're building that. Go ahead. That's your thing. But don't you dare think you're above me because you're building something that makes you more money, maybe, and I'm building something in the nonprofit sector. Just like you could come over here and do that. Know why? You know, it ain't gonna be I'm black, I say so, because there's no such thing. But there is a lot of I'm white and I say so. I'm white liberal and I say so. I'm your friend. I'm your white liberal friend. I got your best interests at heart, but you follow me. No. I determine what's best for my community, not you. And Kathy Hoe-Chill think just because she's the governor and she's white, that she has the black community best interests at heart more than the black leaders in that community and the black parents. And listen to me, I'm the governor. I believe I have a vision for you. And I believe you can do this. We already know this lady. My mama told me this. My dad told me that. My family members told me that. I have rarely had anybody tell me I can't be something and I can't do something. You actually think that our community goes around telling us that please, our parents, our community leaders, our churches, our synagogues, our whatever, our community centers, the boys club, the girls club, the people in these areas, they teach us and train us. After school programs, that's why we need more funding going back to after school program for kids. They train and teach us. You ain't no better than me. I can do that too.
Her heart is in the right place, but as to Todd's point, you know, people say what's in their heart.
How do you know that somebody didn't mean something? Oh, they didn't mean that. No. You're projecting. You don't know that person. You don't know if they mean it or not. It's a slip of the tongue. A lot of times they did mean that. I see people say that about Joe Biden. I see that people say that about Trump. Nah, those Negroes mean that. Gaffes are really, majority of gaffes are really what people truly believe that came up to the surface. Majority of them. Let me repeat that again. Majority of gaffes are what people really believe that finally came up to the surface. They kept it on the inside. This is what they talk about behind closed doors when there's no camera. This is what they talk about at the dinner table. This is what they talk about in the locker room. This is what they talk about among friends. Or they may just discuss this on the inside of them. It finally came to the surface. Oh, she's repentant.
So can she come back from that? She will. However, she will get drugged for a minute. I'm just being honest. Because everybody else in politics, i.e. Trump, is also, he's getting away with everything too. So she's just another one who'll probably get a slap on the wrist.
Why should she come back? And why, sister girl, do you believe she can come back from that? You should be the main one on her tail about that. Because she's talking about your kids. She's talking about your nieces, your nephews. Can she come back? I'm like, no, she ain't coming back from this. And I'm going to make sure she ain't coming back from this. That's the problem with us black people today. We let too many of these people who claim to be allies with us do stupid stuff like that, slick side diss and stuff like that. And we're like, oh, they didn't mean that. Let's just let them. No, they meant that. Now, as a human being, if you want to, you can forgive and let it go. But when it comes to somebody in position of power, if that's the way they think, you better be on their behind about that. Let me tell you something. If I had people on my job had their own personal belief about something, they didn't give them a second chance. Oh, you meant that, so we firing you. You out of here. Why you want to give somebody that? That goes on in the corporate world. You hired her to be your governor if you live in New York State. Let me tell you something. If you worked in the Kathy Hoe-Chill administration and she said something like that, she ain't going to say, something, they didn't mean that. We're going to let that slide. They're going to make up for it. They're going to come back. They're going to come back. No, you out of here. You're fired. Can't have this kind of mindset in my administration. And that's the way you need to be. We can't have people talking like that, side dissing communities like this. This is a straight up insult, an insult to the intelligence of black. Let me tell you something. Black kids today are more intelligent than any other time before because they have access to all this knowledge that you can't even control them on now. You were able to control history. You were able to control other aspects of society because there was no way for us to have access to it. It's just like the monks and all that in society where they did not control, they had full control of the scriptures and they read the scriptures and they twisted it and did whatever they can. They would never let you read it though, because they can use that to control you. The moment you start reading, you start realizing these people been lying to me. The whole Nat Turner rebellion was based on that. You want me to use the slave Bible to keep these people in control over here on this on this plantation? Well, I found the real Bible, and it empowers everybody in that scripture, in these scriptures, not just white people. So I'm gonna use this Bible to empower my people. Now he went to the extreme, and rightfully so, because your oppressors needed to go. Is either you gonna die, or they gonna die, and that was Nat Turner's mindset. I was going to say Nate Turner, but Nate Turner. Shout out to Nate Turner. That's the boy. All right. Anyway, so no. She shouldn't come back from this. Not at all. Not at all.
But they will make her feel it. That's for sure.
And of course, Bridget, I ask you the same question that I asked Todd. Is there such a thing as being too liberal? Some of those individuals who may want to show that they care about, the people of color, and they go too far.
Great question, brother, but let's stop. I hate labels. This is just your view. There's some things I believe that you consider liberal. Some things I believe that you consider conservative. I just call it a mindset, a belief. This is just what I believe. You're trying to put label on what I believe. I'm not putting on labels. This is just what I believe. Even my Christian views, you can call it Christian belief. It's just basically me. I agree with Christ in this area, and I'm going to try to walk in that area like Christ did. This is just my belief. I'm not liberal or Democrat. I'm not liberal or conservative. I'm not Democrat or Republican. I'm just me. I'm Robert with my own set of beliefs, and my set of beliefs are based on beliefs that I picked up here and there, and I brought them into my mind and my heart. And this is just how I believe. And sometimes it's subject to change. Sometimes it's subject to go to another level as I begin to educate myself on this particular subject.
However, she will get drugged for a minute. I'm just being honest, because everybody else in politics, i.e. Trump, is also.
I.e. Trump, not a Trump fan. I never seen him say nothing dumb as this. This is stupid. Stop bringing Trump in this thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. Not a fan of Trump, not a fan of Biden. But we're talking about Kathy Hoe-Chill. And the only reason these people have bounced back is because people like you are willing to give them a slide because they're a Democrat, probably. If you're a Democrat, somebody say something insulting that if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. And you're like, well, you got black people saying, well, he telling the truth. How do you know? That shows your ignorance. You don't let no white man, allied or not, make a dumb statement like that. You call that man to the carpet and say, what the? You take him to the woodshed and whoop that behind in public opinion, and you shame him to make sure he'll never say that again. But because you figure, Trump, enemy number one, he's on our side when both our enemy number one, you ain't going to call him to the carpet because he's part of your coke group. He's part of your team, so you ain't gonna call him to the carpet, and when you do, you're gonna give him a door of escape. No, you ain't escaping this, bro. I'm on your behind, and I'm gonna ride you to make sure you don't ever make a dumb statement like that. You ain't gonna get no free pass off me. And sister girl, cut your hair. Go get a hairdo. What in the world is this? You look like a cloud jumped on top of your head. Look like 5 squirrels done put their tail on top of your head.
And of course, Bridget, I asked you the same question that I asked Todd. Is there such a thing as being too liberal? Some of those individuals who may want to show that they care about, the people of color, and they go too far.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, no one can really walk in our shoes. I don't care what you say, especially when you come from that privilege. There's no way that you can say that, oh, I know how you feel, or, oh, I know what you're thinking. And for her to go all the way to the left to say that Black kids don't even know the word computer, I mean, come on. That was just a very, very, distasteful and a poor judgment of, words that she used. Horrible.
It don't matter whether it's a judgment of words or distasteful or anything, sister girl. You're right on that. You're right. But this is how she believes. And there's no way she shouldn't even be able to allow to say anything that was tasteful to imply that fact. You talk about white conservative Republicans and how you try to make all of them to be racist, bigots, Trump supporters, and all is such a big word. Likewise, for you not to think all Democrat liberals are not shows your ignorance. If you believe all Democrat white Democrats liberal, if you believe all of them are not like that, you have to believe all Republicans are not like that. If you believe all of them are like Republicans are like that, you better start believing all Democrats are like that. Some are just low key, some are just in your face. This ain't got nothing to do with Republicans or Democrat. This is just a mindset that has been placed in people's minds and heart through their upbringing, through their cultures, through hundreds of years of growing this country, that you're not going to be like that person. Had an Asian friend of mine, his son started dating a Black girl, and immediately he goes left, and I had to check him for that. And this is a man that I loved, been knowing all my years. He was more like a father to me. And I began to think of myself as his boy. His son date a Black girl, and he goes slam off. And you have a lot of that in the Latino community too. You have a ton of that in the white community. And likewise in the Black community, we do have some people in Black communities that, but see, we've always been the open type person. As long as you don't crap on us and act like you better than us, you do your thing. But the moment you start being like these people, we casting you and him out. Because we're not going to let nobody with that mindset dog our kids. And if somebody's in love with somebody like that, dogging the kids, and he's choose her over our kids, his people, we got a problem with him too.
And Todd, how do you think she can clear this up, the governor, Kathy Hochul of New York, if at all, from your perspective?
I think, like Bridget said, she's going to recover. People have a short attention span. I will say that. Tomorrow there'll be something else in the news that takes attention away from her. But
that's the problem. That's a problem. We shouldn't have no short attention span when it comes to our kids. We should mark this down, put it in big red letters as an L for her. And we need to have it in our face as a reminder to be on her behind. You ain't gonna let Trump do it. You shouldn't let Kathy Hochul do it. You shouldn't let Joe Biden do it. You should let black people. You should let nobody do this to your culture and let it slide. And people's attention span. If people's attentions begin to expand or people need to forget about it, you need to remind them of what she did in that position of power. As a human being, mistake. I mean, you have no control over me and what I do. So I'm not going to let that affect me. She have control of you and what you do in this state. You don't let her slide. You don't let people forget that. You keep a reminder of it. You know, like the many things about the things that are going through and all these indictments, you are not letting him slide with that. There is no convictions on none of it. All of it is accusations. Indictment. You can indict a ham sandwich. It doesn't mean it's going to end up being a conviction. People get indicted with false accusation every day. It's not a conviction until you go to court and you win it in a trial and you get convicted and get whatever sentence you get for it. You need to indict this lady just like you indict Trump. You need to indict Biden just like hey, it's okay to indict these people when they're trying to get positions of power that can affect your life. This is how this lady think about your children. You get no pass with me, Kathy Hochul. And anybody supporting this or blowing this off, get no pass with me.
She should know that, these are people. Like I said, I mean, don't put them in a box and like they're a different creature. This is 2024, not 1984. People know what a computer is. They know what technology does for our society. She'll overcome it. She'll get a couple of licks for a day or two. But like I said, man, a day or two, another story is going to come and people are going to totally forget that this happened. So she'll be okay in the long run.
She'll be okay. Why would you say that? Every black person in America, in news, sitting on these panels, when you say stuff like that, that means you're willing to forgive her. This is an attack on your children. You don't say that about Trump. Why are you saying that about Kathy Hochul? You don't say that about Trump. Why you make an exception for Joe Biden or AOC or Nancy Pelosi? All these. Why are you making an exception? It's because you're in a cult group. You're in a religion called political parties. And nobody can get you out because you've been brainwashed that, all right, he slept with my three daughters. The pastor slept with my three daughters and got them pregnant. But he'll bounce back from that. Rob, that's not extreme. And my eyesight is just an extreme. You got a person in position of power. And you got a school system that still teaches that if this person in power that's of a higher complexion than a dark person in power, it'll be smart to listen to them because they know more. And deep down inside, a lot of people have that mentality. And you black people need to stop this mess. Oh, people's attention span, that's a lie and excuse. Oh, people are going to blow this off. It's not, he'll bounce back. Why you letting it happen? I'm like, no, he ain't going to bounce back. Not to me. And if I find somebody sleeping at the wheel and letting this slide, I'm going to remind them. Now, you got some people so dogmatic in this Democratic Party and hate Trump so much that it can cause tension between family members. Look, none of these people care about me. I don't give a crap about neither one of these political leaders. None of them. None of them. If something go down right now, I go to the hospital. None of them picking up a phone call for me or calling me. So why are you so you act like that if these people are your personal family members that you love? You would crap on your family members just because they side with one of these two parties or one of these or side with these people. No, I'm gonna crap on you for siding with them over your own people.
And of course, all those black kids in Brooklyn, they actually carry a computer in their hands. It's called a cell phone now. Thank you guys for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored.
I don't think this brother, the host of the show, is going to let that slide. But these people over here saying, look, hey, she'll bounce back from it. It was a gaffe. People attention span. She'll recover from it. And you should be like, no. I mean, there's a possibility it can happen, but we ain't letting that slide. Not when it comes to our kids. No, that was a dumb statement. And I think that statement has a lot of personal beliefs behind it, and that's why you made that statement. That you think that we're archaic, that our kids are primitive. We don't even know what the word computer is. And then we got old boombastic, Mr. Boombastic, coon babbling Mayor Adams refusing to check her too. He here talking about go Knicks. This man about to ask him a serious question about Kathy Hoe-Chill. Now, but look, New York people are crazy about the Knicks. Man, they'll cut you over the Knicks. Man, I mean, these people are psychotic about the Knicks, man. I'm like, yo, So Mayor Adams taking full advantage of his mayor position where he's going to get close to these elite people.
Second question, I wonder what your thoughts are on Governor Hochul saying that black kids in the Bronx don't know what the word computer means. That was yesterday.
I am not the word police. I know the governor's heart.
It's Negroes like that hurts the black community. You think you helping the black community covering up for this lady in her statement? I'm not the word police. You need to be the word police. Because if somebody on the other side said something like that, you'll be the chief word police. You are the head police of New York City. You're former NYPD. You're not the word police. If somebody on the other side says something like that, you'll be doing a press conference right now calling them out. But because she's on your team, you're going to forget about everything else, her why didn't I say so statement or her white supremacist mindset that made her make that statement. Rob, why do you call her white supremacist? That's a mindset. That's a mindset. This is a belief system that just came out of your heart. You sitting up there, Mayor Adams, making excuses. Maybe because you want to get something from her. You want to get her approval for something. Or maybe you're laying low. I guess if you would have run against her for mayor, I bet you'd bring that stuff up then. Because you guys are about your own self-preservation. And right now, you're doing the self-preservation right now because you need her for certain things for the city. That's one factor. It could be many other factors. But for you to sit there and say, hey, I'm not the word police. Negro, you need to be the word police, especially when it comes to your people. And look, at the end of the day, whether you got an immigrant black background or whether you're born from this country, from the seed, from the soil, from whether you helped start this country, at the end of the day, you're black. And she said black kids in the Bronx, which means there's all kind of different types of black kids in the Bronx. Some domestic and some foreign. You see how they talk about your kids, Kathy Hoe-Chill. And instead of you checking it and making a statement, because you did, I mean, when things didn't go well with you and Biden, you would call them by now until they put a whipping on your behind. Now you want to not be the word police.
And, you know, when you make thousands of speeches, when you're in front of the cameras all the time, when you're trying to be authentic and say the things that you're really feeling, one to sit back and do a critical analysis of every sentence you say and say, you know, oh, you didn't say it this way, that way. I know her heart. I know what she was intended to say.
I'm so sick and tired. Let me change that phrase. I'm so healed and full of energy of people who make dumb statement like this. I know their heart. I know their heart. In my teaching on my Winning with Love channel, I would tell you, you can never know nobody's heart. You're still trying to figure out yours. Because you don't know what goes in that heart of that person. Through their visual, through their mind, through their ears. Through their ears and through their eyes, it can shape your thought in your heart and your mind. It's the connectors to those two other places. Your eyes and ears develop your mind and your heart. You're not that person, so you can't know what's in their heart because you're not their eyes and you're not their ears, Mayor Adams. Oh, I know their heart. I mean, you don't know her heart. Stop that mess. You don't even know yours.
Listen, I am not the word police. I know the governor's heart. And, you know, when you make thousands of speeches, when you're in front of the cameras.
This lady ain't making no thousands of speeches. And it don't matter. Stop using this as an excuse. If you don't know what if you know that you're going to make a speech and you don't want to make a gaffe, you better get your Obama on. You better get your teleprompter. You better get your notes out. This man is plebiscite babbling. He's covering for her through babbling.
All the time when you're trying to be authentic and say the things that you're really feeling. One to sit back and do a critical analysis of every sentence you say and say, oh, you didn't say it this way, that way. I know her heart. I know what she was intended to say. And she was not trying to be disrespectful to the people of the Bronx. And I thank her for what she's doing and how she's highlighting
You don't know her heart. You don't know what she intended to say. People in America understand this. When people say that, they're lying. When people say that, they're deflecting. You, me, him, her. Nobody knows what's in the heart of a man. That is scripture. Nobody knows what's in the heart of a man but the most infallible person. And you don't, even if you don't believe in an infallible being, then the statement is true. Nobody knows the heart of a man. The only way you find out that heart is when you start tugging on it. It's just like that Coke bottle. You shake it enough, the moment you pop that tap a little bit, the pressure on it is going to make that pop come out, and the fizz is just going to go everywhere. Why? Because it was shaking up on the inside. Pressure was going on the inside. These bombastic Negroes always defending white society that makes a mistake like this about their people. I don't care who you are, Ice Cube, Ice-T, I don't care who you are. I'm not going to let you defend somebody who make a decision like this and say, oh, they didn't know what they were doing. Oh, I know them. I know their heart. Man, go ahead with that bull crap. You don't know you and you don't know your heart.
And how she's highlighting the issues of technology. We need to have it throughout our entire city, and she has been a real partner. And so those who want to be the word police in this business, you go right ahead. The people of the Bronx knew where her heart was.
She was not trying to be disrespectful. I appreciate her highlighting the issues of technology and stuff like that. We need more technology and AI and blah, 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 blah. All right, Eric, I get it. But going back to this thing, I know her. I know her heart. She didn't admit that. Shut up, man.
Shut the
That foolishness. People in power, man, with they slick, sly self, all they care about is their position in power, their money, and their ability to go up with the ladder. And they have to step on you, and instead of shine a light on you, they'll rather shine a light on them. Because there ain't nothing you can do for them but vote for them. That's the way they see it. Ain't nothing you can do for me for vote for me to stay in office. And I'm trying to do that without any kind of work. I'm trying to keep it they bad, I'm good. Vote for me. They want to keep it on that level. And they believe you that dumb to buy that. Bad guy, orange man. This guy, good guy. Blue guy, good guy. Red guy, orange guy, bad guy. That's the level of your intelligence. And this man is playing with your intelligence right now and hoping you buy into what he say.
And she's sincere about uplifting the people. We don't always get it right. We don't always say this sentence the way we want. We would love to hear rewind sometimes, but the reality, that's not the way life is. And I'm pretty sure that you've said some things that you wish you would have said differently.
You can't trust this Negro. How in the world you gonna trust Kathy Hoe-Chill or any other politician? Man, I'm out of here, man. I got to get out of work, man. This is some crazy stuff, man, with these politicians. You get no pass, Kathy Hoe-Chill. And every black person, you should not give her a pass. You should be on her.
What the hell did you just say?
No.